She is a monster, nearly 8 million kilograms of steel, 115 metres long, capable of carrying a dozen missiles and close to 30 torpedoes.
Beneath the waves, in a world of crushing pressure and absolute darkness, giants are moving. They are the most complex machines ever built by humankind, steel leviathans born from a singular, paradoxical purpose: to achieve ultimate power through absolute invisibility. They are not just vessels, they are instruments of global strategy, gliding unheard through a realm where light cannot penetrate. But what do they truly look like? What secrets are forged into their hulls? The answer begins with a predator that redefined the very meaning of silence. This is the USS Virginia, the trailblazer of America's most modern class of fast-attack submarines. She is more than 7,800 tons of advanced steel, 377 feet of lethal precision. The official statistics are a veil: a dive depth greater than 800 feet, a speed exceeding 25 knots. The true performance envelope remains deep in the classified black, because in the deep ocean, what your enemy cannot measure, they cannot counter. The story of the Virginia begins in the ashes of the Cold War. The Navy had just engineered its masterpiece, the Seawolf class, a submarine so powerful, so quiet, and so cripplingly expensive that only 3 could ever be built. A new era demanded a new philosophy: leaner, smarter, and still utterly terrifying. The solution was a vessel born not on a drafting table, but in the mind of a machine. The Virginia was the first American submarine designed entirely on computers. Every pipe, every circuit, every weld was simulated digitally before a single piece of steel was cut. This digital blueprint allowed for an unprecedented level of integration and efficiency. Her construction was just as radical. Instead of one shipyard building the entire vessel, the task was split. Electric Boat in Connecticut and Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia became partners in a complex industrial ballet. Each built modular sections, trading them back and forth to be stitched together into a seamless whole. This 2-yard strategy forced innovation, retained critical skills, and created a production rhythm that could deliver 2 of these apex predators to the fleet every year. Deep within her hull, an S-9G nuclear reactor beats like a tireless heart, designed to power her for an entire 33-year lifespan without ever needing to refuel. It's an engine of near-infinite endurance. This power doesn't turn a traditional propeller. Instead, it drives a pump-jet propulsor, a sophisticated shrouded system that moves water with far less cavitation and noise. For a hunter that lives in a world of sound, silence is not just an advantage, it is survival. But her boldest innovation was in how she sees. Virginia threw out the century-old periscope. In its place are 2 non-penetrating photonics masts. These are telescoping sensor stacks, armed with high-definition, thermal and infrared cameras that beam a 360-degree view into the control room. The crew sees the surface world not through a narrow eyepiece, but on vast wall-sized displays. It is the difference between peering through a straw and standing before an IMAX screen. Her bite is just as advanced. 4 torpedo tubes can launch the Mark 48, a wire-guided heavyweight torpedo capable of breaking the keel of a warship. But her true strategic punch comes from 12 vertical launch tubes in her bow, each holding a Tomahawk cruise missile. They are long-range assassins, capable of striking a target 1,000 miles away with surgical precision. But this machine didn't appear from nowhere. To understand Virginia's DNA, we must look to its legendary predecessor, the ghost of the Cold War. The USS Los Angeles, SSN 688. She was the first of a dynasty of 62 boats that formed the backbone of the U.S. submarine force for decades. Commissioned in 1976, she was a product of Cold War paranoia, a 362-foot Predator built for one primary mission: to hunt and kill Soviet submarines. Powered by an S-6G nuclear reactor, her endurance was revolutionary. She could loiter for months on the far side of the world, a prowling shadow in the Soviet Union's backyard. Inside, life was a tense, focused ritual. Sonar operators strained to pull a single faint acoustic signature from an ocean of static. Navigators threaded black water with charts and math.
The Los Angeles was an evolutionary masterpiece, constantly upgraded across 3 distinct flights. Later versions incorporated vertical launch cells and advanced silencing technology, keeping the decades-old design sharp and relevant. Even her name broke tradition. Submarines had been named for fish, but this class took the names of American cities, forging a connection between the Silent Service and the nation it protected. Her career was a relentless rhythm of classified patrols, a life spent producing presence without fanfare until she was finally decommissioned in 2011. Her steel returned to the Earth. She passed her legacy and a ceremonial cribbage board from a famed WW2 skipper to the next generation, a generation that would carry not only torpedoes, but the most powerful weapon ever conceived. Even a Predator like the Los Angeles pales next to the vessel that carries America's ultimate insurance policy. She isn't built to fight, she is built to end wars before they begin. This is the future. The USS District of Columbia, the lead boat of the new Columbia class of ballistic missile submarines. At 560 feet long and displacing over 20,000 tons, she will be the largest submarine ever built for the U.S. Navy. Her purpose is singular and chillingly simple: strategic deterrence. Her design is an exercise in absolutes. At her core is a nuclear reactor engineered to power the ship for her entire 40-plus-year service life. The reactor doesn't connect to gears, but to an integrated electric drive. It generates electricity that feeds a massive motor, turning the propulsor with a level of quiet that was once thought impossible. In her belly, she carries 16 launch tubes, each holding a Trident II D5 ballistic missile. This is not a tactical weapon, it is a strategic one, the cornerstone of the nuclear triad, a weapon whose sole purpose is to never be used. The knowledge that this submarine and her sisters are out there, hidden and invulnerable, is designed to guarantee that no adversary would ever risk a first strike. This is the brutal logic of deterrence, peace maintained by the promise of overwhelming retaliation. Right now, the District of Columbia is still taking shape under cranes in Connecticut and Rhode Island, a collection of giant steel rings being welded into a ghost. But as she comes together, the Navy is already looking beyond her, sketching the blueprint for the next apex predator of the deep. It has a name that is both plain and mysterious: SSN-X. The X means the final design is not yet set, but the mission is crystal clear: to achieve total ocean superiority. SSN-X is not an upgrade, it is a fundamental rethinking of what a submarine is. In an increasingly contested world, the next hunter-killer must be faster, stealthier, and carry a larger payload than the Virginia class. But its true revolution lies in what the Navy calls horizontal payload, transforming the traditional torpedo room into a modular, multi-purpose mission bay. Imagine a submarine that doesn't just launch torpedoes. Imagine it launching and recovering swarms of autonomous underwater drones, robotic scouts that can extend the submarine's senses for hundreds of miles. The SSN-X will not be a lone wolf, but the quiet, unseen quarterback of a distributed undersea network. This leads to the ultimate goal: decision superiority. The ability to process more information from more sources, fuse it into a coherent picture, and act on it faster than any adversary. The future of undersea warfare isn't just about stealth or firepower, it's about information. But this ambition comes at a staggering cost, estimated between $7 and $9 billion per boat. The design will push the vessel's size beyond even the mighty Seawolf class, a behemoth of more than 10,000 tons dedicated to dominating the deep.
From the Cold War hunters of the Los Angeles class to the modern digital predators of the Virginia class, from the silent guarantor of the Columbia to the future robotic mothership of SSNX, the story of the American submarine is a relentless, four-dimensional chess game played in absolute silence. These steel giants are more than just weapons. They are the embodiment of a nation's technological will, a testament to the unending quest to master a hidden world. They glide beneath the waves, unheard and unseen, holding the balance of power in their hands. The ultimate paradox of the deep, the greatest strength lies not in being seen, but in remaining a ghost.